It's hard to believe that the All-Star break has come and gone. And now it's time for the final stretch of the 2016 Florida League season. And for the Winter Park Diamond Dogs, it's time to buckle up and hit the pedal to the metal for a playoff push. Coming into tonight's game at 11-15, the Dogs sit 7 games back behind their opponent tonight, the 19-9 Sanford River Rats. But it's not first they're gunning for. It's a coveted spot in the playoffs where anything can happen. And the Dogs sit in the 5th and final playoff berth, half a game up on the Leesburg Lightning. But everything is all jammed from 2nd place to 6th, with 2.5 games separating between 6th and 2nd. For the Diamond Dogs, it's time to make up some ground and push their way into the postseason. That quest continues tonight. Hello, everyone, and a pleasant good evening. I'm Brian Nestel, joined by Carl Max Millionard, and welcome to Bishop Moore High School in College Park for the first of a home-and-home between the Winter Park Diamond Dogs and Sanford River Rats. It's the first home game since a rain-shortened game last Wednesday against the Winter Garden Squeeze, a 2-0 win in 5 innings, in which Hunter McMahon took the complete game shutout victory. The Dogs returned to action after the break on Monday with a complete performance. They took out the Lightning 7-2 behind Justin Cortez's 6th-inning gem. The Dogs struck early, scoring 3 runs in the first and 2 in the second, before Brooks Morgan capped it off with a 2-run home run in the 4th. The game was called in the 6th inning due to lightning. Trevor Tinder gets the ball tonight. The Georgia right-hander leads the league in strikeouts with 35 Ks and 31 innings and only 3 walks. He's been really reliable for the Dogs this season, as Carl Max Millionard joins me now. And if you're going to continue a winning streak, you want Trevor Tinder on the mound.
Of course, you want your ace, your all-star ace, might I add you, to definitely keep the winning streak alive with the winning streak at 1 game right now. We didn't get to finish our last game due to the lightning and heavy rain, but you definitely want to have your ace in the hole to keep this winning streak alive and keep this playoff push going for the Diamond Dogs.
Meanwhile, the Sanford River Rats have been a force to be reckoned with this season. As you mentioned, 19-9, first place in the Florida League. The defending champs are at it again. They lost their last game to Winter Garden, a 12-5 defeat to the Squeeze. But they're 7-3 in their last 10. Of course, they have Omar Villaman, who's not in the starting lineup tonight, but he leads the league in average, 449, 18 RBIs, 3rd in the league. As a team, they're batting 286, 51 doubles, 13 home runs, and they put up 194 runs in general. This team has offensive firepower. It'll be the Sanford River Rats and the Winter Park Diamond Dogs. You're listening to Florida League Baseball, brought to you by Meridics. We're back here in Bishop Moore High School. We get set for the top of the order for the DeLand Suns, a 6-run lead for DeLand. They're looking to get to 11-7 on the season. They're coming in with 8-2 in their last 10 games. As Mulkey steps back to the plate to face Link. Time running out for Winter Park. As Mulkey swings, fouls it off behind home plate. It's 0-1 to count.
Mulkey's had a really good night. A couple singles, a double for him. He just missed a double in the 5th inning as he had a ball hit down the 3rd baseline that was close and then hit a hard hit ball in the center field that was caught. But he's been on a tear the last couple games as he's 2 for 3.
The 1 offering from Link is hit down the left field side. It splits Makaravich and Gonzalez. It gets to the outfield. And a no-out base runner for the Suns here in the top of the 8th.
And I talked with Matt Mulkey about a week ago, and it was him coming off of a bad stretch for him, and he was just sort of going, yeah, I'm hoping to break out of this. And I said, yeah, it's coming. The next start, you're going to have 2 hits, and that's what will happen. And it's exactly what he did. He's continued it into the night. And I can just tell by watching him at the plate, he has a ton of confidence, more than he's had all season.
Well, he takes a lead off of first. He gets back in time. And in any sport, especially with baseball, if you're in a slump, really, you need to get out of that slump by it's repetition. You just need that one at-bat that gets you out of that jam as that ball granted to left first baseman Martin with a great play gets the runner at second. They're going to call the runner at second out in Mulkey, but Rex is there in time. Martin with a great snag coming up with it on a hard hit ball down the first base side. He throws over to Makaravich, who kind of bobbled it as he tried for the double play.
That was a great snag by Sam Martin. It was right at him, and he just made a good pick with that right hand coming through, and his throw over to second was in the dirt, and they called it on the exchange as the ball popped in and out of the glove of Makaravich.
The runner is off with a foul ball by Hayes. Nice slide and pop up there by Rex over at second, but that's a shame. He has to do it all over again, and now he has laundry to do. So, runner at first, 1 out here, 8-2 lead for DeLand. Link on the mound in relief of Hodgins, who went 5, allowed 6 earned runs. 8 runs on 9 hits for the Suns, as Rex slides back head first safely on the pickoff play. As the third base coach for the Suns is going to chat with the infield umpire.
I think he wants him to make sure that link is coming set every time. And it's been a couple of different chances that he's been watching and making sure he comes set before throwing over to first and bringing the pitch to the plate. Now he's not very thrilled about whatever's happening out there. Went from a nice conversation into something a little different quick.
You see one of the interns for the Winter Park Diamond Dogs walking with the team meal tonight. The team meal, of course, is brought to you by Pita Pit. Pita Pit, a healthier, fresher option than fast food. We appreciate their help providing team meals for the players post-game. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that after the game as the pitch is thrown on. And as Rex goes to second, he stumbles trying to go to third. That ball was airmailed by Durand. That tailed off into right center field. Silverstein alertly comes up with it. Stolen base by Rex, brought to you by Orlando Sanford International Airport. Another successful takeoff and landing.
He had a chance at third there, but he slipped coming around second.
It's one of those cartoonish plays where you just stumble around. You have like the Benny Hill theme song playing as the pitch goes wide outside. Elastic arm back there is Durand. He really stretched across his left to make the snag and keep the ball in front of him. It's 1-2 the count to Jay Hayes.
And I don't know if you saw the Jose Altuve play the other day where he was coming around second base, a chance at a triple for the cycle, and he slipped coming around second and just sort of fell to the ground and crawled back and laughed.
Here's the 1-2 offering to Hayes. It's low and outside. 2-2 the count.
And Altuve, a triple away from the cycle, trips coming around second and probably had it at third.
Oh my goodness. I did not see that the other night. Haven't been able to watch many MLB games that don't have MLB.TV. As Hayes swings and fouls it back off in the mesh netting on the first base side.
And that's where you're missing out.
I know. I need to sign up for it. But it might be a good thing. The Phillies aren't exactly having the best year in the world. I'll catch some ESPN Sunday night baseball games. And there's the Rays down here. I think it's FS.
And the Marlins.
And the Marlins, High pitch by Durand, who can't handle it that time, and Rex will make it over to third, advancing 90 feet. And it's a full count as Durand and Link are going to link up on the mound here.
And now Jay Hayes, after being down in the count 0-2, a chance to fight all the way back here and either take walk number 3 of the game or pick up his second hit. He already has 1 RBI as well and 2 runs.
Here comes the bat boy as Hayes wasn't really looking. Takes a swing, fortunately there. Nothing happening. But anyway, Hayes steps in. It's a full count, 1 out here. Runner on third. 8-2 DeLand lead on 9 hits. 5 hits for the Diamond Dogs as Gulick has been dealing. Here's Link against Hayes. The full count pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets Hayes striking out, swinging. And that's a big second out here for the Diamond Dogs. And that'll bring up Joe Dudek.
And a really good pitch right there for Link to come back with that. As Jay Hayes has not struck out very often this season. That is only strikeout number 8 in 55 at-bats. And so that's something that's very rare to do. Another guy that only has 8 strikeouts this year walks to the plate now, and Joe Dudek.
Well, you get by one monster, you face another. As Dudek steps to the plate with 2 outs here and a runner on third. As he grounds at the second, it's going to be fielded by Morgan, who can't field it cleanly, and Dudek is going to reach in time. So E4 on the play. A run scores for DeLand, and it's a 9-2 Suns lead. As it looked like the Diamond Dogs were going to get out of this inning unscathed, they don't. Dudek reaches on first. Now to bring up Garrett Hall, the shortstop.
And Morgan had 2 chances at that play. One just fielding it cleanly, but it kicked off his glove over to his right. And he had another chance on the throw because he had to throw it off balance. It was almost in time to get Dudek, but he reaches. And now Garrett Hall smashes one out to left, and it's caught for out number 3.
So the Diamond Dogs allow the 1 run. It's now a 9-2 deficit to overcome as DeLand leads. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Time is running out for Winter Park. You're listening to the Diamond Dogs Baseball, brought to you by Meridix. Back here live at Bishop Moore High School, a 9-2 deficit now for the Diamond Dogs to over. As Matthew Russell will take over for Matt Gulick, who was just absolutely phenomenal on the mound tonight for the Suns. He'll face the leadoff hitter in Silverstein, but an RBI double his last at bat. to get a second run of the game for the Dogs. But they certainly have their work cut out for them. Russell, 6 2/3 innings pitched on the season, 4 strikeouts. Facing Silverstein, is 1 for 3 on the night with the aforementioned RBI double. Here's the first pitch to Silverstein. That ball's outside. It's 1 to count. Gulick went 7 innings strong, 5 hits, 2 runs allowed. They were earned. No walks, which is the impressive stat, and 4 strikeouts. As 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0 to Silverstein.
Gulick only has 1 walk on the entire season, and that is in 29 1/3 innings.
The 2-0 offering is outside, 3-0. And that's one thing a lot of pitchers I talk to in the Florida League, they want to limit their walks. And in a lot of innings like Gulick has pitched, if you had just 1 walk, that's something you should be proud of. As the 3-0 pitch is in there for strike 1 to Silverstein out of Chipola. 6 runs in the first was the exploding point for the Suns as Silverstein out of Chipola fouls it off into the Dubstead Golf Course to our left. Russell battles back from 3-0 to 3-2.
Russell's out of Embry-Riddle, an 0-1 record this season and a 9.44 ERA in just under 7 innings of work.
Silverstein calls time. The full count here. 6 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the 6th and 8th as Silverstein stays alive, fouls it off. Count remains full.
And this is something that Matt Gulick barely did in this game, get to a full count. Especially in the later innings, he was getting everybody out 1, 2, 3, and now this is pitch number 7 for Matthew Russell.
That ball is in there for strike 3. Silverstein tossed his bat like he was going to go for ball 4. Umpire home plate emphatically calls him out. That's a first out of the 8th inning for the Suns. I'm going to bring up Chad Wagner. Wagner 1 for 3 with a run scored on the night, facing Russell for the first time this evening. Time, as I've said, is running out for Winter Park if they're going to get back into this game down 7. First pitch to Wagner is in there for strike 1. That game in Leesburg is final, a 9-0 Lightning win over the Winter Garden Squeeze as Wagner fouls it off just to our right. He's down in the 0-2 hole. Meanwhile, Altamont is up 11-0 over Sanford. And that is correct, believe it or not. 11-0 Boom lead. 0-2 pitch swung on and missed by Wagner. Voiles holds on. And there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning to bring up Morgan.
And one thing that Matthew Russell had really struggled with coming into this game was walks. His strikeouts and walk was 4 strikeouts, 7 walks in just under 7 innings, but back-to-back strikeouts here for him after a rough outing against Leesburg last Tuesday.
So here's Brooks Morgan stepping in to face Russell. He swung on with that emphatic swing for the fences, but misses. It's 0-1 to count.
And that's exactly what you've been talking about, where he's taken a lot of big hacks, not only in this game, but you said for the last week or so.
He has been hot, but sometimes you get overconfidence and think you can do it all. Morgan takes a fastball low and inside. It's ball 1. 1-1 to count to the UCF Knight. As Morgan fouls it off his foot. It's like his left foot. He takes a limp and a little lap around the home plate. Voiles will talk to Russell. We'll be back in action tomorrow night up in DeLand at Conrad Park. For the second of this home and home, you can tune in right here once again at FloridaLeague.com. Diamond Dogs will be back at home on Wednesday night here at Bishop Moore High School when they make up a rained-out affair against the Leesburg Lightning. That game also a 7 o'clock start. Tickets are on sale still at FloridaLeague.com. $6 for adults. Kids 12 and under, $4. And if they're kids out there wear the Little League jerseys. They get in for free, and we always like to see a bunch of kids out there at the game. They really enjoy it. The players make it fun for them. And the 1-2 count to Morgan on its way is just outside. 2-2 the count to Morgan. (9-2) lead for DeLand. And it's bottom of the 8th. That ball is outside. And Morgan has battled his way back to a 3-2 count.
And I mentioned that Matt Gulick had been really good about staying away from full counts. The other night in his 7 2/3 innings, he only went to 3 balls twice.
The full count pitch is blooped in the right field. Morgan will be on with a single. Hayes will field it cleanly. But a big 2-out base runner here for Morgan, as I'll bring up Josh DeBacher with a chance to at least cut into this lead. You don't necessarily need to get it after this inning, but you need to give yourself a chance in the 9th.
Well, and down by 7 with 4 outs left. Comfortably, you could say, if we cut it to 4 going into the 9th, you have a chance. And that's one thing that Rick Hall talks about all the time with his pitching moves, is that he does not want to give the opponent a chance to tie the game in the 9th with one swing. And so he likes to work around things, and if they're up by 6, he takes it almost as seriously as if they're up by 1.
And that's a sign of a good manager. You just want to keep your pedal on the metal. As DeBacher steps in to face Russell, the right-hander, it's 0-1 to count. So a bloop single by Morgan puts him on first with 2 outs here. DeLand up 9-2. 9 runs on 9 hits for the Suns. 6 of them coming in the top of the first inning. As DeBacher takes the ball low and outside. It's 1-1 count.
And a wise move by the Suns here as well with the lefty DeBacher up. Joe Dudek is not holding on Brooks Morgan over at first base to try and field his position a little bit better. As well as being up by 7 runs, you want to take the out instead of keeping close.
Yeah, that runner and Morgan really doesn't matter for the Suns as that ball is low and in the dirt. Boyles hangs on to it. 2-1 to count. Russell behind. DeBacher 1 for 2 on the night. Just 5 RBIs on the year. But a runner on first here for the left-hander from Kansas City. DeBacher fouls one off, goes straight back behind home plate, and it's 2-2. If DeBacher can get on, Martin looms on deck.
And that's the thing that's scary about this ballpark at Bishop Moore is if you get another runner on, a home run can easily be hit out with the wind. Not as much blowing out anymore as it's died down, but the short porches and a chance to lift the ball up in the air and get it out. And a 3-run home run here cuts it to 4. And that's what you really want to avoid as the Suns.
Flag in center field hasn't moved for about the last 2 innings as Morgan is off the second. Have a check swing here. Fortunate break there for Winter Park. So Morgan swipes second. And now a full count here to DeBacher. Another successful takeoff and landing. Brought to you by Orlando Sanford International Airport. So full count here. 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th. 7-run deficit for the Diamond Dogs to overcome. DeBacher swings and blooped in the left field. Will it stay fair? It won't. It's foul. And that would have scored Morgan for sure. Instead, DeBacher just has to stay alive. And we'll do it all over again. That was a nice piece of hitting there by DeBacher to take it opposite way.
He missed it foul by about 3 feet. Hard up the left field line, and if it's down, he's on second base. He switches places with Brooks Morgan, but now another 3-2 count as this is the third 3-2 count of the inning.
Crowd here at Bishop Moore High School trying to cheer on their dogs, get back into this game. They're trying to charge the victory, have to do it from come from behind fashion if they're going to do so. 9-2 Suns lead, bottom of the 8th. The 3-2 pitch to DeBacher, swung on, grounded to second. That'll be fielded cleanly over to Dudek, and they get DeBacher in time. So a 2-out base runner in Morgan is left. DeBacher grounds out.
You do now. The Florida
And it's a 7-run lead as we head to the top of the 9th. The land leads. You're listening to Diamond Dogs Baseball, brought to you by Meridix.
The best of the Florida League will be.
Post-game show underway here at Bishop Moore High School. Brian Nestel joined by Jim Joyner as we see the Land come into Bishop Moore High School, pound out 6 runs in the first. That's really all they needed as they cruised to a 9-3 victory. Sam Martin tried to make things interesting here in the ninth, blasting a home run, his first of the season, to right field. Clarence Rosales comes in and shuts the door, and the Land improves to 11-7. I gotta ask, who's your player of the game?
I think for me, the player of the game has to be Matt Gulick, as he went 7 innings, allowed only 2 runs, both of them earned, so his ERA will go up a little bit from .81. But what a bummer that is, that it barely goes up, probably just above 1.00. He would be my player of the game, 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs, or 2 runs, and no walks. And that's been something that he's been very good at, as he's just over 29 innings on the season and only 1 walk. And that's why he has the most wins and the best record in the Florida Collegiate Summer League at 5-0. 5 appearances, 3 starts, and a 5-0 record.
And it's nice to know that when a pitcher like that steps on the mound, that gives your team confidence. You basically know you're going to win. So Matt Gulick, our Duffy's Sports Grill player of the game. Fans, if you're at the game, you can take a ticket to Duffy's and get a free pint of Yingling, the official beer of the Florida Collegiate Summer League. So we'll be back in action tomorrow night, these two teams, for the second of a home-and-home. The Land Suns will host the Winter Park Diamond Dogs up in Stetson, Conrad Park. As Winter Park, as they're playing over the PA, I've seen better days, and for Coach Scott Makravich and company, they certainly have. They are a 2-game losing streak trying to end tomorrow night. For Jim Joyner, the rest of the staff here at Bishop Moore High School, or GM Colin Welsh, and Vice President Stefano Foggi, I'm Brian Nestel. We'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, first pitch. Post game at Heller Brothers Ballpark, when the Winter Park Diamond Dogs come in and take 2 from the Winter Garden, squeeze 2 much-needed wins to keep their hopes alive in the playoff race. I'm here with Brooks Morgan and Patrick Coffin. And Patrick, we'll start with you. 5 innings pitched in relief of starter Justin Cortez's 4 strikeouts. You got yourself in a little bit of trouble, but what's your mindset when you get in a little trouble like that?
You just got to bear down and make pitches. That's the most important time when you're pitching, is when the runners are on and the game's on the line. You just got to make pitches. Justin did a good job at the beginning of the game, and I came in and got the job done. Brooksy hit a homer, and we got the W.
They got the W, indeed. Coming in for Justin Cortez, who had 9 strikeouts as well. You feel like you had to keep it going for him?
Yeah, I mean, he set the bar high. I mean, he told me what they were looking for and how to get them out, so he really helped me out a lot.
What was your mindset going into the bottom of the 10th inning? We had the 5-3 lead.
I mean, Brooks made it easy on me. 2-run lead. I should get the job done every time, and he just made it easy on me.
Patrick Coffin gets the win, and now we'll bring it over to Brooks. The hero of the day had a 2-run single to put the Diamond Dogs ahead in Game 1. They ended up winning 6-5, and now a 5-3 win at a 2-run home run. Just walk me through your home run.
It was a 3-0 pitch that time, and I've never swung at a 3-0 pitch before. I looked at Coach Mack, and I gave him the eye. I said, I'm doing it right here, and he gave me a sign. I said I can swing, so I had to do it for the team.
You guys got a great pitching outing by Coffin as well as Cortez's. Oh, yeah. What's it like to play behind these two guys who can really shut the door?
Justin and Pat, they're just awesome. It's a great combo. Whenever we knew that both of them were coming in, we got to save Pat last game. Friday threw good in the first game, too. Don't forget about that. We had a great pitching performance all night. 3 guys that just shoved it up their butts. And I'm just really impressed. We're down to the wire, and we had to get some wins, so we did it.
What was the mindset coming into today? You guys had a tough stretch lately, but you finally get 2 wins today. Keep your playoff hopes alive. But what was the mindset coming into today?
It's funny that you say that. Because last night we had this group message, and there was some text that actually meant a lot. We all got together, and the Winter Park Diamond Dogs are going to the playoffs, baby.
Well, you heard it right here. Brooks Morgan, the Winter Park Diamond Dogs going to the playoffs. They'll have 3 more regular season games to prove it. They'll have a game at Winter Garden on Saturday, home on Friday, and that's versus Sanford on Sunday. Brooks and Patrick, thank you for your time. We'll see you guys later tonight.